Hi guys, yes, que Carlos to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're making an orange and almond cake. It is naturally gluten-free, so moist, delicious. If you like frangipane, which is that almond paste that's put inside of almond croissants and cakes and things like that, you are going to love this cake. It's so easy, so delicious to make, perfect with a nice cup of Greek coffee. Let's get started. So we're gonna start off by separating 5 eggs. I'm gonna put the egg yolks in one bowl and the egg whites in the mixing bowl of the tabletop mixer. You can do this all by hand with a hand mixer, with an electric mixer, but since I have my KitchenAid, I like to get help from it whenever I can. And I just put the things in the wrong bowl. I'm supposed to start with the whites in this bowl. Let me fix this problem. Okay, it should be fine because the egg yolks didn't break. The reason I start with the egg whites is because if I start with the egg yolks, I'm gonna have to wash the mixer because the whites won't mix if there's any kind of oil in it or any kind of fat. So I start with the whites and then I'm gonna mix the yolks. All right, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of the sugar to them. And we're gonna beat them until stiff peaks form. They're gonna be really nice and fluffy and stiff. That should take about 2 to 3 minutes on high speed. So that is what you want. You want the egg whites to be nice and stiff. I'm just gonna transfer them to this bowl right here. Okay, now I'm gonna add 2 sticks of butter. 8 ounces. Each one of these are 113 grams, so that's 226 grams. This is unsalted butter that's really nice and soft. Take it out about an hour ahead of time, or if you forgot to do that, you can pop it in the microwave for like 15 seconds until it softens. Then I'm gonna add the egg yolks, the granulated sugar. So the granulated sugar is 1.5 cups or 340 grams. I'm also gonna add the flavorings. So we need 1 teaspoon of pure almond extract and 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And we also need a little pinch of salt, like a 1/4 teaspoon or so. And we're just gonna beat this on high speed until it's nice and thick and fluffy while we prepare the dry ingredients. So over here I have 2 cups or 220 grams of almond flour. To that I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And we need lots of orange zest. So you can use a lemon instead if you want to give this cake a lemon flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and zest 2 oranges just so it can have maximum oranginess to it. And then just go ahead and mix it all together. And then I'm just gonna add the almond mixture to the bowl and mix it until it's just incorporated. You don't wanna overmix it because we're gonna slowly add the egg whites in. Now the egg whites are gonna lighten it up because there's no flour in this. It's a really dense cake. It's gonna be dense in the end as well, but the egg whites are really gonna help fluff it up and lighten it up and give it some natural lightness. So I'm going to use the wrappers. They have a little bit of butter left over and I'm just going to grease the pan. I'm going to especially get the sides. And then you're going to notice that everything is not mixed properly. It's not well incorporated. So with a spatula, go in and just lightly fold everything together so it's nice and even. And then go ahead and pour the batter into the cake pan. And this is a 9-inch round springform pan. I like it because it's the cake is gonna be just the right thickness. It's gonna be nice and thick, and it's just gonna help release easily. I don't wanna waste anything. See, springform pans have this latch over here. Generally, cheesecakes are made with them. And that's it. It's ready for the oven. So my oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This is gonna go on the center rack and it's gonna bake for about 55 minutes to an hour and maybe 5 minutes. keep an eye on it because every oven cooks differently. Once a toothpick that is inserted into the center of the cake pan comes out clean, the cake is ready. It's going to be beautifully golden brown on top. At this point, before you put it in the oven, you could definitely sprinkle some sliced almonds on top. You can put some orange slices on top. I'm keeping it plain, but we give you options. I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it comes out. Once it comes out, make sure that you let it cool completely. It's a good idea to put it on a wire rack and let it sit for about 30-40 minutes so that way it can air out and just be nice and it could be ready to serve basically. So the almond cake is ready. Once it cools down completely, then go ahead and carefully transfer it to a serving platter. Sometimes I really like to serve cakes on cutting boards. I think it just looks really rustic and pretty. You can serve it as is. I like to dust plenty of confectioner sugar on top. You can get a little fancy with this and make some whipped cream. Vanilla whipped cream would be really nice with it, with a little splash of almond extract in it, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon or so. And you can whip the whipped cream up and then pipe some rosettes on top of the cake, or serve it in a bowl and your guests can just dollop some on their slice of cake. And you can also put some orange slices on top just so that way everyone knows what kind of a cake it is. Totally up to you. When I transferred it onto my cake platter, it was still warm, so I wasn't able to take the parchment paper out from underneath. Don't do that because the cake can crack and fall apart like mine almost did, so make sure you guys don't do that. Let it cool completely, and the best thing to do is to put a plate or a cutting board, something light on top where you can flip the cake over and then carefully peel the parchment paper off, and then whatever serving platter or cake stand or whatever you're using, you just take it, flip it over the cake, and then flip it upside down, and then it'll be easy to serve like that. It is a dense cake, so it's not that easy to just maneuver around and like flip upside down because it can crack and fall apart. Anyway, long story short, it's on the serving platter right now, and I'm ready to taste it. It smells amazing. I love frangipane. Give me an almond croissant any day of the week with a cup of coffee and we'll be best friends. So this tastes like frangipane, but a little bit lighter. It's so good. You can taste the almond. Definitely you can taste the orange because it really brightens it up. Anytime you add citrus to something, it just freshens it up and lightens it up at the same time. I love this cake. If you want to use it for New Year's as a Vasilopita, stick a little coin in there, wrap it up with foil like we do in Greece and stick it in there, and this could be your gluten-free almond Vasilopita. We give you options. I hope you guys enjoy this one. If you want to learn how to make Greek coffee, click over here and I'll see you right over there. Yes,